Most people won't understand this video. And you know what's most interesting? That's the biggest sign that it was made exactly for you. We live in a world where everything happens so fast, where the external noise is so loud, that few voices can really touch something deep inside us. You may even be watching this right now, wondering, does this make sense to me? Am I on the right path? Why do so many things seem so confusing, so disconnected? I'll be honest, this video isn't for everyone. It's not for those who are looking for easy answers or who want generic content to pass the time. No, it's for those who feel, even deep down, that there's something more, something waiting to be discovered, a subtle secret that few see, an invitation to step away from the crowd and look inside yourself. If you feel restless, a doubt that won't leave you alone, a silent desire to be more than just one more person, then stay here with me. Because the journey we are about to begin is for those who have the courage to face their shadows, to question what seemed unquestionable, to seek light even in the darkest hours. It's not about instant happiness, nor about magic formulas. It's about truth, the kind that bothers, that challenges, but that in the end sets you free. If most people don't understand, you do. And that's why you're here. Let's go together. Have you ever noticed how the simple act of connecting with something real can change everything? Here, in this space, it's not just about videos, it's about awakening. About creating a place where you feel seen, understood, and where the hard questions can finally have a place. If you feel that this message resonates with something inside you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It's not just a click, it's an important step in your journey. Because from here on, with each video, we will walk together to discover more of what really matters. What moves your soul, what transforms the way you see life and yourself. There is no bullshit here, no false promises. There's a genuine desire to grow, to evolve, to understand that life is complex and at the same time, full of hidden beauty. Subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any reflections, because each word, each story was designed to help you find your own path, your own meaning. This is your invitation, your chance to be part of something bigger where you're not alone. Let's go together. Have you ever stopped to think about how strange this world around us is? Sometimes it feels like we are trapped inside a dark room, where the walls are made of doubts, fears, and expectations that do not belong to us. Outside, people rush around, looking at their own watches, immersed in superficial conversations, as if time were an enemy to be defeated. And there, in the middle of this whirlwind, you feel a different silence. A silence that is not empty, but full of questions that seem to echo inside your chest. Who am I really? What is the meaning of all this? Why doesn't my soul feel at home in the place where I am? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the smell of rain on hot asphalt. That smell that reminds you of transformation, rebirth. Feel the texture of the light wind on your face, as if it were a gentle hand trying to awaken something dormant inside you. Listen to the distant sound of dry leaves dancing on the ground, following an invisible rhythm that only nature knows. These little details are like clues, whispers from the universe to those who have ears to hear. They invite you to look beyond what your eyes can see, to feel beyond what your heart has ever felt. But to do so, you need courage. Courage to lose yourself before you find yourself. Courage to shed the false certainties you built to protect yourself. I know what it's like to walk down this road where every step feels like a silent battle. When a mirror doesn't just show a face, but a restless soul, full of desires that haven't yet been understood. Where the nights are long and thoughts feel like a labyrinth with no way out. But it is precisely in this space of uncertainty that something new can be born. Because emptiness is not a lack, but rather a preparation for what is yet to come. Along the way, you start to notice small achievements. Not the ones that the world applauds, but the ones that only you feel in your heart. Like the moment when you realize that you no longer need to seek external approval to feel whole. Or when you learn to say no without guilt, respecting your own limits. or even when you finally manage to silence the critical voice inside your head and listen to what your heart really wants to say. These small victories are like shy flowers blooming in the shade, showing that even in the most difficult places, life finds a way to express itself. And it is in this dance between pain and beauty, fear and hope, that a new vision begins to emerge. A vision where you understand that happiness is not a destination, but a path made of ups and downs, of constant learning and daily choices. At first, the changes seem too small to make a difference. A timid step, a decision that seems insignificant. But that is precisely where the big change lies. The one that no one sees, that doesn't show up on social media, but that happens silently inside you. You begin to realize that every time you choose to get up after a fall, you're becoming stronger. That every time you choose to look within instead of running away to the noise of the world, you are creating a space of peace that only you can inhabit. That with every no you say to something that doesn't feed your soul, you're creating more space for what truly matters. These small achievements don't come with fanfare. They come as whispers. Like that morning when you wake up and feel like you're no longer so tied to other people's opinions, that your own judgment has started to carry more weight. Or that moment when a problem that once seemed huge now turns out to be just a temporary obstacle, a lesson in disguise. On the journey of transformation, fear and doubt are still there, but they lose the power they once had over you. They become companions on the road, not enemies. You learn to walk with them, to accept that you don't need to have all the answers right now. That the process is as important as the outcome. It is in accepting this imperfection, this rhythm that is not always linear, that you discover true strength. Not that iron strength, unbreakable, but the flexible strength that bends without breaking. The strength that rebuilds itself, that reinvents itself, that adapts. Along the way, some questions change places. Why? Gives way to how. And what if? You begin to imagine possibilities where before you only saw walls. You begin to see life not as a problem to be solved, but as an experience to be lived, with all its colors, shadows, and lights. And that's when a magic happens, when you realize that the small victories that have accumulated, the moments of silence and reflection, the decisions that seemed simple, are actually building a new way of being. A way of existing that no longer depends on the external to validate its value. This transformation is not something that happens overnight. It happens in cycles, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly. But what matters is that you're moving forward. And moving forward is already an act of courage, a clear sign that you are willing to live with more authenticity and presence. Ultimately, what really changes is your perception. You begin to understand that happiness is not a distant place where everything is perfect, but a state of acceptance and gratitude for what is already happening here and now. That life, with all its imperfections, is a precious gift for those who have eyes to see. And it is in this understanding that a profound freedom is born. The freedom to be who you are without masks, without fear of making mistakes, without the constant need for approval. There is a simple truth that few stop to realize. Life is not a problem to be solved, nor a puzzle to be completed, but rather a mystery to be lived. And it is precisely this perspective that changes everything. For a long time, we have been taught to seek happiness as if it were a distant prize, a goal to be achieved, whether through success, recognition, money, or the approval of others. But true happiness is not outside of you. It does not depend on external circumstances or material achievements. Happiness is, above all, a choice. A conscious choice to see what is beautiful even in difficulties. A decision to embrace who we are today, with all our imperfections, and not wait for a future moment to finally be good enough. When you understand this, you realize that life is made up of cycles, days of light, days of shadow, moments of joy and moments of pain. None of these states are permanent. They all exist to teach us, to help us grow, to make us more human. True wisdom lies in embracing this dance, this oscillation between what we desire and what life presents us with. When we stop resisting what we cannot control and begin to flow with the natural rhythm of things, peace begins to seep into the small cracks of our hearts. And that's where freedom is born. The freedom of not having to have everything planned out. The freedom to make mistakes and learn. The freedom to feel, cry, laugh, and move forward. The freedom to be vulnerable without fear of judgment. But to achieve this freedom, you need to let go of the illusion of absolute control. You need to abandon the idea that happiness is conditioned by having or being something external. Because life happens in the present, in the moment that is happening right now. And in that moment, you can choose to be happy even if everything around you seems chaotic. This choice is not easy. It requires courage. The courage to look within, to face one's own shadows and accept that perfection is not the goal. The courage to love oneself, even when everything seems to say otherwise. And it is precisely this courage that differentiates those who just follow the crowd from the majority of those who truly find a deep meaning for their lives. Most people don't understand this. That's why most people don't see what you see. That's why most people don't feel what you feel. And that's why you're here. Because you have that spark within you, that subtle fire that burns the desire to be more, to live better, to be true to yourself. The takeaway is simple, but powerful. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to be happy. Give yourself that permission. Now, today, in this very moment. When you do this, the world changes. Your outlook changes, and you finally begin to live not just to survive, but to truly exist. Happiness stops being an unattainable goal and becomes a companion on the journey. Overcoming doesn't mean never feeling pain, fear, or insecurity again. Overcoming is learning to move forward, even when everything inside you seems to want to give up. It's recognizing that the path won't always be smooth, but that each step, no matter how difficult, is worth it. The truth is, life is not about being strong all the time. It's about being human, of allowing yourself to feel, of accepting the bad days and celebrating the good ones, of building resilience in the small battles of everyday life. Greatness is not in never falling, but in always getting up, a little wiser, a little more aware. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be true to yourself, to your emotions, to your inner truths. Because it is in this truth that real strength is born. The kind that doesn't depend on approval, that doesn't need applause to exist. The process of becoming who you truly are is long and nuanced. And it's okay if you don't know all the answers yet. What matters is being willing to walk the walk, even when the road seems uncertain, even when doubt knocks on your door. Remember, every small victory, every moment you choose authenticity over the mask, is building your freedom. The freedom to live a life that makes sense to you, not to others. It's natural to feel fear, to feel insecure. But these feelings are not the enemy. They're signs that you are leaving your comfort zone, that you are growing. And growing hurts, but it also frees. You are not alone on this journey. Many have already gone through what you are going through now. And that is exactly why this journey can be taken with more ease, with more understanding, because it is not a lonely path. It is a road that connects all people who have decided to be true to themselves. The secret is to embrace imperfection, embrace the process, embrace life as it is, with its uncertainties, its pains, and its joys. When you do this, everything changes. The pressure to be perfect disappears, and you begin to live with more ease, more truth, more freedom. You begin to understand that your value is not in being the best for others, but in being the best for yourself, in your own time, in your own way. And that's something no one can take away from you. The journey may be long, yes, but each step is worth it, because each step brings you closer to yourself, to your purpose, to your peace. You don't need to be understood by the majority. You just need to understand yourself. And when you understand yourself, the world around you begins to make more sense. So move forward with courage, with patience, with self-love, because you deserve to live a life full of meaning, even if few understand your choice. This is your truth. This is your power. And only you can make this a reality. If you felt any connection with what I shared here, if any words touched your heart or made you think differently, I invite you to subscribe to the channel right now. Here, we're not looking for magic formulas or empty promises. We want to walk together, discovering how to truly live with courage, authenticity, and purpose. Each video is designed for you if you feel different, if you don't fit into what most people expect, but you're willing to find your own path, even if it's challenging. If this sounds like you, join this community of real people seeking meaning and transformation. Don't forget to leave your like to help the channel grow and reach more people who, like you, need to hear this message. Also share it with someone you know will benefit from this reflection. Your support makes all the difference so that we can continue producing quality content with soul and truth. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. Here, there will always be a space to welcome your doubts, your achievements, and your moments of struggle. So, subscribe, activate the bell so you don't miss any news, and come build this story with me. Thank you for being here, for choosing to look within, for being who you are, unique and essential. See you in the next video. See you then.